You are listening to Zen and the Art of Triathlon.
Well, hey there, all you triathlon freaks and geeks, and welcome to another great episode of Zen and the Art of Triathlon, the podcast where we go long on endurance and how to improve ourselves with a little bit of Zen along the way. All right, this is Coach Brett. We got a special episode today. We have no guests, just us staring at the wall. Zen meditation. But, yeah, we've got a discussion today. We're going to talk about the Zen concept of heaven and hell. Oh, it's going to be so good. Mostly heaven. And yeah, we had an interview lined up, and then it actually fell through due to scheduling stuff. And I thought this would be a really good time to talk about some Zen stuff so we can apply it to our lives. It'll be good. And I think also we have a little bit of audio from Kai on the drive back from his mountain bike race. We talk about how things went. He's always fun to talk to. So that's pretty cool. And then I've already recorded a bunch of training log for us to listen to. Take you out with me while I go out and train and see what happens. Try to explain what I'm doing and why. And I think I'll do a little bit of an injury report maybe after the Zen talk. What's going on, the goodness that's going on with my plantar fasciitis that's healing up just nicely. And I think that's it. I think we'll do all that and get a show out there. And before we do any sponsors, let's go ahead and get the good stuff out of the way. Let's talk about Zen, heaven, and hell. So I was listening to an audiobook, that's what it was. And it's actually an audiobook that's derived from a TED Talk. And it's called The Stillness Project. And it's actually a really short audiobook. I have a subscription to audible.com, so I get 2 audiobooks a week, or a month, I think. And it's good stuff. And so I was listening to a podcast where they were interviewing Matt Mullenweg. And Matt Mullenweg is the founder, the inventor almost, behind WordPress. And, you know, he's from Houston, and I'm from Houston, sorta. I'm from Ohio, Alabama, and then mostly Houston, and then College Station. So anyway, his mannerisms of speaking is just so soothing and addictive to listen to. When you listen to somebody, you want to listen to somebody that just sounds like everything's going to be okay. You know, like a soothing voice. That's the best stuff to listen to, and I really enjoy it. So Matt Mullenweg is like that. When he talks about WordPress and open source, you just get this feeling like it's all going to work. Like, where am I getting this from? Oh, it's just the tone of his voice. It's his speaking style. And on that note, I've noticed that I really do enjoy listening to people that are from the South. I'm trying to think, tangentially speaking, I think that guy's from the South. You Are Not So Smart, that guy's from the South. And then Bruckner Chase, who's been on ZenTri a few times. He just narrated the audio on a video. I don't know if it's for NOAA, NOAA, National Ocean and Atmospheric Administration, but it has NOAA stuff in it about riptides and how to be safe in the ocean. And he's an older guy. He's 45, 50, and he's a badass open ocean swimmer. And he just talks like this. And it made me realize that sometimes I talk too fast on the podcast. I'm trying to get so much out there that a lot of it, half of what you're saying, or maybe more of what you're saying, is how you're saying it. You know, it's your delivery, and it's that maybe 90%. It's that tone of confidence and relaxed and slow pace. Everything. Hey, by the way, it is true. Everything's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. It's all cool. Oh, and by the way, I'm in the car, but everything's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. I thought I'd record this while I'm get some stuff done and get this out there. So we'll all be good. If there's any jittering sound, that's the bike rack on the back of the Nissan Xterra, as you'd expect. Oh man, so I was listening to this stuff and I thought, man, I should check out this book. Matt Mullenweg, there's a guy riding some kind of super enduro bike. He just went by. Oh my God. Anyway, and he mentioned an audiobook that he really liked, and it comes from a TED Talk, and it's called The Stillness Project. And the author actually narrates it, which is interesting. And he talks about, he's been busy. This guy's been busy his whole life, and he went to go research somebody, found him, and it was all about being still. The art of stillness, I think. The art of being still is what he called it. And it's a short audiobook, an hour and a half long, and it's all about slowing yourself down and simplicity so that you can actually be happy. And it's actually a really good book. I really liked it. And there was a segment in it that I wanted to cover. I quoted it. I was listening to it last night while I was on the bike, which is funny because I'm biking 20 miles an hour or 40 miles an hour downhill, and I'm listening to a book about the art of being still. But the point is that it's not actually about being, well, it's kind of being still, but it's about focusing on what you're doing and then enjoying what you're doing and not being other places. And the takeaway quote that when I wrote it down while I was on the bike, I was like, I've got to remember this. I have a list of Zen strategies and quotes and things to think about that I write down and I keep in a list. And that way I can, if I'm under stress or something, I can go look them up and kind of read through them. Or every once in a while I'll just read through them anyway, because man, they're my favorite, my cream of the crop that I like, that work for me. And at one point during the book, he quotes Shakespeare. Shakespeare says there's no such thing as was it truth and lies, something like that. It's only the mind that makes it so. It's only thinking that makes it so. Unhappiness and unhappiness, it's only the mind that makes it so. And then he goes on to say heaven is not wanting to be anywhere else. And this is really, really powerful because, like all things Zen, this actually goes a few layers deep. And let me explain how. There's another great book, and it's a cartoon book about Zen. It's where I really finally understood what Zen was about, because a cartoon book for kids is actually a pretty good teaching tool. And I'm going to have a sip of my water here. Hold on. And it was the Zen concept of heaven and hell. And they said it was a monk and then a general. And this is a Japanese samurai general or a Chinese warlord of some sort, big powerful general. And the general says, I am a very powerful general. What can you tell me about heaven and hell? And the monk looks him up and down and says, you are a terrible warrior. You are a joke of a warrior. You couldn't basically fight your way out of a wet paper bag with both hands and a flashlight, if they had flashlights back then. But he just insults the general right where it hurts, where it really matters to the general in his ego. And the general gets furious and draws his sword and says, you scumbag, I'm going to kill you right now. You are you're going to die. I am enraged. And the monk points at him and says, right now, you are in hell. This is hell. And the general got it. He had a moment of enlightenment. And he was like overcome with, since he got it, he was overcome with happiness. He goes, oh my gosh, I create my own hell. I get it. And so he was happy. And then the monk says, right now, you are in heaven. And then the general double got it, like a double rainbow in the sky. And then it had a little summary beneath the cartoon explaining this. This is a book called Zen Speaks. It is so good because it makes it really obvious how everything works in Zen. And so the traditional Zen thought is that heaven and hell is available right here, right now. You make your own heaven, you make your own hell. And I really love this because you can control your reaction. And like Shakespeare said, you know, happiness and misery aren't real. Aren't real things. It's the human mind. It's the mind that makes it so. And so it's basically how you deal with your own situation that makes you happy or hell. And I've heard another phrase is prison is anywhere that you don't want to be. When prisoners kind of get the system down and they become the boss of their cell block and they're selling cigarettes and making money and they're getting things done from inside the cell and they've got a plan. That's usually what makes people really happy, is to have a plan. Then they're not really in prison anymore. They're being productive and they feel good, right? They're doing as well inside as they would be doing outside, right? But let's say you're a wealthy kid and you're at home by yourself and you're lonely and it sucks and you've got hours until somebody's going to come pick you up and you're waiting for your friends to come. You don't have friends or something like that. That's prison, right? Even though you've got 5 iPads and an iPhone and a big screen TV. So back to the saying about heaven is not wanting to be anywhere else. Because I found this so powerful. I took an Instagram photo of the audiobook on my iPhone and then Instagrammed it, tweeted it, and then told, let's park over here, everybody. And then copy and pasted that quote that I'd written down for my own happiness. Because I think there's another layer right here. Because we can all get that one point, but I think something else. This is what I love about Zen, is just when you think you kind of got it all figured out, something happens. Usually it's about every week or two that opens your mind even further, and you're like, oh wow, and you understand everything like another level deeper. So it's kind of like triathlon, where it's never ending. You can always get better, right? Because you can never be perfect, because it's 3 sports. And you can't be perfect at all 3. You can only be kind of good. So it's kind of nice how it's the same. But you don't want to be anywhere else. So when we think about that, what is it that makes you not want to be somewhere else? And I've been working with this and trying to figure it out. Kind of like it's a koan, is what they call it when you're trying to figure out a puzzle. Man, there's somebody with a leaf blower and an edger. That is the rule of podcasting, or it's like the fundamental law of podcasting is, if you try to record, at some point, somebody with a leaf blower or an edger or a lawnmower will show up. It's like it's like gravity. It's like a law. Anyway, the not wanting to be anywhere else. So how do you... It's nice if you don't want to be anywhere else just by coincidence, right? But Zen is a practice. Zen is not... It's something you can work towards and improve on and see changes in your life. So aside from you just happen to be on the beach at Cancun and everything's fantastic, you got a buzz on, people are handing food to you or whatever happens. Never been there. But how do you actually control the situation and make the place where you are the place where you want to be and not think of anywhere else? So first off, you pay attention and you realize while you're doing the thing, would I rather be somewhere else than what I'm doing right now? And if that's the case, you probably got a problem. I think about that with when I heard this, I was on the trainer bike doing Zwift, and I was like, well, no, I'm really happy right now. If I was biking, I really like being right where I am, biking right now, and that's because I've taken the steps to make biking on the trainer pleasurable. It's actually as good or better as riding outside for short rides, because I can just hop on. I don't have to get all kitted up, right? I've got this, it's $10 a month, and I've got Zwift, this video game that I like to ride. That's great. I've hacked the video game a little bit so I can always ride the beautiful island and not ride these other two courses, which I don't dislike. I just like the big island better. And when one of our fans broke, I replaced it with a fan this is the funniest thing, a fan that came with a remote control switch on it. So from the bike, I can turn the fan on and I can control the speed of the fan, right? And I've got a subscription to Audible, so I'm listening to audiobooks while I'm biking. And okay, so this sounds like a lot of stuff, but this is stuff that over 8 years or something like that, I'm like, I've made choices, and I'm like, this is better. Get this, okay, this is better, right? I didn't go out and buy all this stuff at once, as stuff broke, you have a choice. When you replace something, you think and you pay attention, and you're like, what will make this better, right? Remote control fan is so great, right? And I've got an waterproof headphones. I got some earbuds. My Jaybirds finally bit the dust, and I've ordered the Apple ones, and I'm just waiting on those. But my point is I'm like, I like where I'm at while I'm on the bike, right? I'm not thinking about wanting to be outside instead, or wishing that I wasn't on the bike at all, and wishing I was eating, and or I was at a concert, or just watching TV or something like that. I'm enjoying myself, and enjoying myself while on the trainer was actually a series of choices that I made over time. And then I thought, what if? I thought, think of something where you don't enjoy being there all the time. And so I thought, okay, work. I'm at work. I've got to sit there at a desk and push around a mouse, analyze my TPS reports, and do this and do that. And gotta go to meetings. Gotta host the rare meeting. It's all stressful and blah blah blah. So that's a situation where you could be in hell because you don't want to be there, and you don't want to be there because you want to be somewhere else. And then, so I was thinking along the lines of like, well, I've got a little dorm fridge in my office, so I've got the food I need, and I've got I got a task list of things that need to be done next. So then I said, okay, so here's the process. Here's some helpful procedures. Is when you find yourself in hell because you don't want to be there, have methods to change the situation a little bit and to fall back on, right? So when I'm like, man, I don't want to be here or whatever, I can actually pull up my to-do list and go, what on the to-do list? Instead of being miserable going, I don't know what I can do, I can actually pull up a to-do list and look through the list and go, oh, okay, here's something I can do. And then now you're productive and you actually feel better. And then I had a moment of my own little enlightenment right there, where I thought, what's actually happening here has a lot to do with the Zen concept of focusing on one thing at a time. And when you focus on one thing at a time, it allows you to do it well. And then doing it well makes you enjoy it. And then you enjoy what you're doing and you enjoy being there because you're enjoying your work. And so it's like it went full circle. It went round robin, where I was like, oh, so one of the other keys is, you have your to-do list and your list of things always to work on. But when you're working on things, work on just one thing and enjoy that, and actually see how well you can do it. Do it with style and your own, put your own flavor on it and in it, whatever, and actually just do it right, and take pride in your craftsmanship. Do it with craftsmanship and some engineering, and then all of a sudden, that thing, that the situation, the place that you're in hell about, can become heaven because you're actually enjoying being there. And it made me think about a lot of different situations. You can go through all day, and I have been. It's late the next day, and I'm like, I've been paying attention all day. Am I in heaven or am I in hell? And I had to walk out in the sun and the heat, and I was hungry. But I decided that I had to walk from a building to another building. It's a little bit of a walk. And I was like, well, this sucks, right? So this is hell. And then I thought, well, how do you turn this into heaven? And I think this is a really big key, is asking yourself frequently, how do I turn this situation I'm in into quote unquote heaven? How do I turn the situation into something that's actually enjoyable? Right? Instead of just taking it for granted that this is the way it is. Well, I ride on a bike trainer and it sucks. I have to run on the treadmill and it just sucks. How do you change it so that I got to walk a mile from one building to the next in street clothes and work shoes instead of, nice jogging shoes or whatever. So, and I'm hungry. How do I turn this into heaven? And I was walking with two other people. And I wasn't telling them anybody, they're not interested in this stuff. And I said, so what I started doing was I started asking them about what's going on with their life. And by the end of the walk, I'd learned about things that they'd done last weekend and their plans for next weekend. And it was really fulfilling. And I was there and I was engaged and I was in the moment. And it felt like heaven. It felt really good that I was with them and listening to them, and I felt like a better person. And also back to the thing of me just focusing on them was what made it, doing one thing at a time was part of that trick, where it actually made it really, really, really nice, that it turned it into a more heavenly experience because I was just focusing on them. and realizing, I was talking with them. And so now, for example, I'm actually kind of looking forward to, I've got some mundane tasks I got to do this afternoon. I got to do some budget stuff. I got to do a little bit of research on things that's not triathlon. So it's not my favorite thing to do like triathlon is. And I thought, wow, this is really neat. Like I'm actually looking forward to it because it's stuff that's when I focus in on it and I'm doing just one thing, I can ask myself, how do I make this one thing more fun or more pleasurable? But more than that, back to the original statement is, how do I make this one thing something where I don't want to be anywhere else, right? And so how do you get comfy? How do you get, enjoying the thing that you're actually doing? And to wrap it up, there's also something else where you may say, well, of course, no matter what you're doing, that's okay, it's pretty good. Wouldn't you rather be, someplace else, like on vacation in New Zealand, which would be one of my favorite places to go, right? You could always say, well, I'd rather be there. So the limit to that is, the limit to the situation is you got to frame it like you're here. The thing you're doing right now is you are stuck there, right? So how do you make that thing that you're doing, that you've chosen to do right now? So you ask yourself, what do I need to be doing right now? Or where am I right now that I need to be here, right? Off the top of my head, a good example is I'm at Kai's soccer game and I'm on the sidelines, but he's not playing, right? So I need to be here. And how do I actually enjoy that? How do I turn this into, because immediately I'm like, well, I'd rather be in New Zealand. He's just sitting on the sidelines, doing nothing. And I'm like, well, I'd rather be in New Zealand. I'd rather be on my bike ride. I'd rather be out running. I'd rather be podcasting. I'd rather be coaching. I'd rather be doing a lot of different things, right? But how do I make how do I make sitting there on the sidelines when my son's not playing, how do I make it a place that I would rather be? And so that's what I mean when it's like, you kind of got to deal with the situation that you're stuck with right now. And it's like, well, how do I make this place, and you got to remember everything's relative too. So how do I make the place that I'm at the best place? And on the relative note, the thing is like, you got to drive into work. There's traffic, so you're stuck in traffic, right? Well, you've chosen to go into work. Work is, there's no change in that. You can't be in New Zealand or Hawaii right now, so you're on your way to work. That's it. But because everything's relative, do you know how like sometimes you're like one lane is better to be in than the other? You're always trying to change lanes because the lane that you're in, there's some Yahoo in front of you that's driving too slow or whatever, right? Well, it's all relative, right? So you want to be in the right lane and enjoying it. And actually, we've talked about margins and some space before. So you can enjoy being in this lane over here is probably going to be the better lane. I got a turn coming up. So I'm going to go ahead and get in the right-hand lane. That's the right lane to be in. That's a better lane than the left lane. So I'm going to go ahead and get in there and enjoy being in the right-hand lane and doing one thing at a time. I'm going to enjoy driving the car and doing that. So I've also noticed that if you're doing tasks that require listening and thinking, that a way to enjoy it is to put it on music. Talked about this before. Focus at Will. Focus in the @ sign. Will. Focus at Will is this awesome app that plays music with no words, and it has all different kinds of music. And my favorite is Alpha Chill on Low Intensity is the channel. Alpha Chill Low Intensity, and it just plays music with a relaxing beat to it. And I've noticed when I do that, I can actually read emails and I can absorb what's coming at me and work and think. And then if I'm doing something that is, and then I'm in heaven, right? But hell would be listening to a podcast or an audiobook that's full. It's got information in it that I'm trying to digest mentally, and then at the same time trying to read emails or read a website. It's so frustrating. I can't absorb either, because somebody on the podcast says something interesting, and I'm listening to that, and then the email says something interesting, and I'm like, crap, what was that? And going back and forth and back and forth. So if you're doing something like going for a walk, then listening to a podcast or an audiobook is really good stuff. And that way it's not conflicting with your incoming channels, what's going on. So, all right, that has been Heaven and Hell. I challenge you to go out and try it. Ask yourself throughout the day, would I rather be somewhere else? Am I thinking about someplace else? Heaven is any place where you are not thinking about being somewhere else or thinking about another place, right? It's where you're thinking about what you're doing right now because it's that good and you enjoy it. And the sign that you wouldn't want to be there is you're thinking about other places you could be instead. And ask yourself many times throughout the day, anything that you're doing, am I happy here? Am I thinking about being someplace else? And then if you are, ask yourself, can I be anywhere else than I am right now? And if not, then go. If you can, then get out of there. But if you can't, then ask yourself, how do I turn this into actually enjoying being here? So I quit thinking about other places, because you're not doing a good job if you're thinking about being somewhere else. And then get engaged with what you're doing, however, like the tricks I mentioned, how you do it, and then notice how you get this feeling of like happiness, right? And you can do this all day long, everything that you do, and it's really, really nice. And then you can create a version of heaven right here on earth for you all day long. Okay, let's take a break.
Welcome to the next level.
All right, let's take a break for a minute and talk about SaltStick. SaltStick.com/ZenTri is where you can get a discount on your own Salt Stick. So Salt Stick is electrolytes that is the same profile as what you sweat out. So if you sweat it out, that's what you actually put back in with Salt Stick. It's really cool. I love it that it's these capsules that you can either take whole, and you can do like while you're riding along, they have this dispenser that you can twist out. That's the one you see all the time. I remember seeing it on Craig Alexander's bike, multiple Ironman world champion, and you can just twist out these capsules and then pop them as you need them. And then there's also the capsule, because they are capsules, you can actually open them up and tap out the salt, but it's not salt, it's electrolyte mix as needed to make your own fuel. I love making my own fuel. I'll make a 3-hour fuel bottle. It's got maltodextrin, and I could do maple syrup or honey, and just whatever I want in there. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I need to add some electrolyte in there, so I'll tap in a capsule or 2 or 3 of Salt Stick, and I just really like it. When they approached us, I was like, yes, I will definitely work with you guys to be a sponsor. So you can get your own Salt Stick by going to saltstick.com and then /ZenTri. And that gets you in the door to get your discount. And while you're in there, make sure you check out these chewables. I love them, man. They're so cool. I keep them right next to my bike right now on the trainer. And they're kind of a citrus lemon lime flavor. And you can just pop one in your mouth and it breaks apart, crumbles apart. Really nice like. All nice like. And yeah, that's a big shout out to Salt Stick, and you go check them out. We should also mention that there's been studies that show that athletes that use Salt Stick finish races faster than their competition, and we want you to do the same. So go check it out. All right, back to the show. All right, I am here with Kai Blankner of Von Blanc Racing. How's it going, sir?
It's doing great.
And you just did the 6th, 7th, 8th grade race at the course near Troy, which was it Steiner Ranch, the private ranch? I think it's Steiner Ranch. And you, the course is about 5 miles long, right? And the beginning was kind of mellow, and then the second half of it was pretty intense. So tell me about, you told me before we started recording, this is what inspired me to record, was the race was kind of hard at first, kind of frustrating, and then at the start, and then you really liked it though. You finished, you had a big smile on your face. So what was going through your mind, sir, during the race?
Well, thank you, Brett, for
Brett, it's Dad.
Same thing, for interviewing me at this time.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your pro schedule or anything like that. Do you have any other press conferences after this you need to get to?
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it started off pretty good. It was really smooth. The trail was very narrow.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty compact.
Okay, whatever.
And then around loop 2, the race part second half,
Mm-hmm.
it started to get a little bit more technical.
It was like 4 segments.
Yeah, segment 2. It started to get more technical with ups and downs and lots of routes. And then
So, but you're saying at the beginning it was frustrating. Are they open? So, oh yeah, they are open. So then we're driving by the bike shop to get our bikes tuned up. So what made it frustrating at the beginning? I got a video of you right at the start, about 1 minute in, and you were being forced off the trail because of a problem. So what was going on there?
Okay, so when I started, it was hard getting clipped in because I hit another person's handlebars on accident. And then I got cut off onto the side of the trail that was very bumpy and tall grass. And so I had to wait till there was a big-ish opening to get back in. And then I was stuck behind some people.
Yeah, so they do call-ups, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where if the better you do, then you get priority call-up to the front. That's your goal right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my goal in triathlon for the longest time was to get top 10 in my age group in anything, any kind of triathlon. And it took me a while. It took me a couple years, I think. And then finally I got there, right? And then you is to get the call-up, which is top 10, right? Which is neat because they say your name in front of everybody. They're like, Kai Blankner! Right?
Yep, that's me.
Did you ever crash?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Did
I
you?
almost crashed at the beginning because I hit someone else's handlebars.
So what happened? Were they on your right side or on your left side?
Left side.
And then what? They just banged into you?
Yeah.
And so how'd that knock your feet off your pedals? I don't get it.
Well, it happened right when, it hit me right when I was about to get in.
Oh, okay.
And then I had trouble getting in.
Okay. But you're on clipless pedals now. If you were on flat pedals like I want you to be, hey, you're ruining that sticker, dude. If you want to stick that on anything, don't do that.
It's fine.
God. All right. So if you were on flat pedals like all the pros, all the badasses like your dad, then you would, you're giving me a look of disbelief right now.
I am.
Okay. Then you wouldn't have had to clip in and you would have won the whole race. What do you say to that?
No. You get more power with clipless.
Okay, so you're on clipless. You graduated from flat to clipless, right? So what are you using for your clipless pedals?
Egg beaters.
Yeah. but they're old.
Yeah, they're
So the cleats are worn out, and you say they're not clipping you in tight?
They're really loose and they come out sometimes.
So we're at the bike shop right now. We're in the parking lot. We're going to drop our bikes to get
Tuned up.
tuned up because, oh man, we want input from people. Tweet at us, ZenTriathlon, on Twitter. When your bike starts taking 2 clicks to shift, right? Your bike and my bike are both doing that. And your rear brake is kind of soft. Mine is kind of too. It's not really as firm as it used to be. And what was the other thing?
Well, the weird thing is when you take the front wheel off and you put it back on, the brakes are way better. It doesn't make sense.
It just doesn't make sense. So people tell us what's going on. Let us know.
Yeah.
I have theories,
What he said.
but we'll let the bike Gestapo out there tell us the true facts. Gestapo. It's like the undercover police. All right. Well, I'm really proud of you today.
Thank you.
Did you hear me ringing my cowbell that I found?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Very aggressively.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. And what else we got going on? Is that it? Man, it took a long time to do 5 miles. That course
Yes.
was really hard. Yeah. Did you ever run up any of the hills?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because people were stopped on it mostly.
Oh, yeah, that sucks. Yep.
The tiniest hills were the hardest. I don't know why.
Okay.
Do you know why?
No. Listen, I got a question for you. Because we need to do the course review thing, right? You've got 3 courses under your belt. You got
Courses?
Reveille Ranch,
Reveille Peak Ranch.
Reveille Peak Ranch. You've got Bluff Creek Bike Ranch in Warda.
That was fun.
And then you've got this one, Troy, the one near Troy. Steiner Ranch, maybe, near Troy. Which has been your favorite so far?
Favorite?
And why?
Probably Troy.
The one today?
Yeah.
That's your favorite? Why?
Because it's like really smooth and you get to, the turns are like perfect. And when you go down, it's really fun. Because it's like a jump kind of.
Yeah.
And then like you hardly need to brake and you can just go so fast.
That's true. You don't really use the brakes that much for lots of it. Yeah. Did you, the wooden wall thing, you know, where you ride up on the side of it? Did you ever try that?
No, because there was a person like riding really slow, then I passed her.
Oh.
So.
Are you saying you passed her because it's a girl?
No.
You better not. You better not. You better respect.
Dad, I think... No, I'm not going to say it.
You're not going to say. Okay, I'll just leave that alone. We'll just pin that.
Simmer down now.
Simmer down now. Simmer down, simmer down, simmer down, simmer down now. Quiet dog, bite hard. I tried the wall yesterday. My second time around on the course. I go, I'm going to try the wall. I about died, dude. That thing threw me off the wall.
Do you know the thing where it's like this? The
Yeah.
bridge?
Yeah, the bridge is angled.
I had to walk one of them.
No.
Too hard.
No.
I could not have done it. I thought it was going to throw me off. That's how someone caught me. So, they didn't pass me, though. I passed him back.
Okay, yeah, good. We got that clear.
Well, they never really
Was it a girl?
No.
Okay. How's the girlfriend situation going?
What?
How's the girlfriend situation going?
I don't have one.
You had one, though.
I did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You broke up with her?
Yeah. Dad, don't do this.
You're heartless, dude. Is it because she got in the way of your mountain bike career?
Oh, yeah.
Being a pro?
Seriously.
Okay, listen. I want to tell you about me trying to ride that wall.
Okay, do it already.
I went up on it, and then I about died. It threw me off the wall back down because I was not going fast enough. So my front end slammed back into the ground.
Yeah, imagine doing gas pass like that at Warda.
Oh, at Warda?
That would have been so fun.
Yeah. Remember that video we saw of the guy jumping up on the wall?
No.
Over everybody and then landing in front of them?
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah. That's how in my mind I felt like I was like, turns out I was not. I probably went up on it like 3 inches. Okay, let's go in and drop off our bikes to get worked on. Cool?
Cool.
All right, out.
Now.
Now. Are you saying meow?
No.
Right, meow? All right, we have moved locations. I'm at Kai's triathlon practice. This podcast is turning more and more into how to try to be a good dad. I am at Kai's triathlon practice. They're off biking right now, and they'll be back here in the parking lot about 15 minutes from now, if I'm lucky. And they cruise around on the hilliest part of town as part of their triathlon training. It's really, really nice setup for them to be working on. And I just got done listening to the Slow Home podcast. Actually, I got 2 podcast updates for you. Slow Home has an interview with the Australian, New Zealand manager of Patagonia. I love Patagonia because it's a company, they make like jackets and backpacks and outdoor gear, and they are so strong in the environmental aspect, and I'm huge into that. I've got a degree in geography, but my specialization during my bachelor's degree was in environmental science. I grew up as a backpacker and Boy Scout and Eagle Scout, and living in during the summers in the Smoky Mountains at times with my grandparents. And taking care of the planet is huge. So I'm a huge fan of Patagonia. And I'd really like to take ZenTri in a direction where we do a similar business model. So if you've got advice on that, any ideas, then let me know. I'm very interested. My email is texafornia, T-E-X-A, texafornia @gmail.com. And I look forward to hearing from you. Also, the Art of Charm podcast has a fantastic interview with Shaquille O'Neal. And he's a lot older now, so he's looking back on how he did things and what he did right and what he did wrong. A little bit of military influence, like I had as well. And not just a little bit, but off the charts. His dad was a drill instructor. And thinks he's done wrong, and how he's improved on things, and how he handles himself, and how he parents, and how he runs business. So I want you to go check those out when you can. And it's crossed my mind that maybe we should, in ZenTri, the people I coach also take Zen advice from me. We sit down and talk about the Zen approach to not just training, but life, because it's your life that allows you to train, and how to approach things. We've got people that have injuries, how to handle with those, people that are getting older, how to handle doing that. You don't do it, it does you. And also conflicts at work. So I'm kind of interested in branching out and maybe some Zen coaching and applying these tactics to improve your life. So let me know if you're interested in that as well. I'd probably start off $99 a month, I think. And then I'd like to take some of that and invest it back into the environment. How about that? We could do the Patagonia model. That'd be kind of cool. Wait, I see a triathlete running behind me. It's one of Kai's teammates. And on that note, let's go ahead and read some emails. Got some cool stuff. Wait, I gotta drink my coffee. I've got hemp powder in my coffee, and I add some stevia to it because hemp powder and coffee does not taste good. But stevia is a sweetener. I've been using it for 15 years. Stevia or more, now that I think about it, 17 years. Stevia is a sweetener that really kicks butt. So no calories, nice and sweet. South America originally. And let's hop on over to our emails. Where did you go? There you are. All right. Let's see. First off, another thing. Oh no, I'll mention that in a future show. Let's see. We have so more like a product review. I'm really excited. Sunto is sending me the wrist-based heart rate. It's got the green lasers on the back. Spartan Ultra. When you see me take pictures of my watch, 9 times out of 10, it's a Sunto Spartan Ultra. And it's touch screen. It's a beautiful watch and does all the triathlon stuff. The rare case that I'm not wearing it is because it just happened to run out. The thing's got crazy battery life on it. The thing just happened to run out of battery, so I'm throwing on my old Garmin. And but Sunto is sending me the wrist-based heart rate monitor one that's coming out, and I'm really excited because I've never done wrist-based before, and there's a rumor it might pick it up during swimming. And whenever I push off the wall swimming, my heart rate strap slides off. So I'm really, really excited. And when I run, I don't really like running with a heart rate strap that much lately. And the Zen thing is to always say lately. You could always change your mind, and that's okay. And the other thing, so look for that on future episodes and on Instagram and on Twitter, Zen Triathlon, when I post my workouts. And let's see. X-Tar Moon RC2 portable LED lamp. So that's that's the light I've been running at night with, and it clips to your waist, and it is by far my favorite. It's water resistant, sweat and water resistant. You can run with it because it's down low, it projects, and a shadow, so you won't trip over stuff, and it's super simple. Just all self-contained. It's really cool, and it is called the X-Tar. The letter X, T-A-R, Moon, M-O-O-N, X-Tar Moon RC2. So go check that out. I give that the big mega thumbs up. Okay, now let's get to the emails. Let's see what Danny Peters has to say. He said, I've only recently decided to sign up for my first try. Olympic distance. Okay. Might want to do a sprint first, but that's up to you. Just kind of depends on your situation and where you are and what's available. I've included your podcast as one of my learning, training encouragements. Your general approach to life is also something that I take away a lot from. As a father of young kids, I'm also keen to apply this to their upbringing. Okay, I'm going to interject here. Man, I was thinking about it earlier today. Like, young kids, Kai's mountain bike team, the cool thing about that is I can mountain bike while they're mountain biking, right? And that's what you got to do. There's some other parents, not in mountain biking. At this triathlon practice, all the other parents are just kind of sitting around. I'm the only one that actually goes out and rides with them and stuff. And, I think they might be done. They're coming this way. But the mountain bike team, when they practice, the dads practice with them. They go out and ride too. So you want to be one of those parents. Sounds like Danny's on his way. Okay, at 39 years, while I'm a fairly active person, I'm finding the endurance that is hardest to build up. Give it time, dude. It's cool. It's cool. That ability to maintain a certain power level over a prolonged period of time. I'd love to know if you have any tips working on this specifically. I'm not new to high intensity intervals. He said hit. And understand its benefits for power strength, but really long rides and runs feel like a different ballgame. Okay, this is what you do. Let's say a long bike ride to you it's got to be, it's a long bike ride for pretty much everybody. It's 3 hours, all right? 3-hour bike ride. You just go do it as slow as you can because it's already going to be really hard. And then you look on your heart rate graph and your speed graph, if you have a power meter, your power meter graph, at where you start to fail, right? At just going easy and where you feel like you're bonking and stuff. Now that's your pain point, and that's where you need to fix yourself first. That's your weakest link in the chain. Why am I not able to go for a 3-hour bike ride at an easy pace? Well, you're doing two things, most likely. Is you're going too hard. 1 point, that's 1 point A. 1 point B is you're going too hard uphill That's the one thing you see all the time. You got to hold back when you're going uphill, when you're going long. And the other one is you're not eating and drinking enough. You need, let's say, 200 to 300 calories per hour for the long stuff. And if you're doing Gatorade, that's simple sugars. That's going to make you sick to your stomach. So you want maltodextrin-based stuff instead, because that's starch and will not make you sick to your stomach. So you can buy maltodextrin in bulk. Work on 200 calories at first, maybe 250. Ride as easy as you can 3 hours and get to where you can finish 3 hours. And this applies to running too, all this stuff. Get to where you can finish the long stuff at an easy pace, really easy, without being exhausted at the end. Then start speeding it up. And there's a million things beyond that. But that's kind of what you do. Another tricky here is, for a 3-hour ride, go out an hour and a half, so you have to come an hour and a half back. Pay attention to the wind, by the way. And, okay, but really long rides, I feel like, okay. Well, that's the best I can give you in a short answer on the podcast, Danny. But slow down. And especially when you're going uphill, you cook yourself going uphill too hard. And you wouldn't believe how much easier you need to go uphill than probably what you're doing. I'm sitting in the parking lot right now where they're going to start a bike ride. It's kind of a race ride. This weekend, 100 miles, and it's hilly at first. And it's so funny. I got first place last year. And it's so funny because the people that I beat were crushing me. They were passing me going uphill at the beginning of this thing, the first 20 miles. Uphill, just smoking me. And then I'd go up so much slower uphill. And then I'd we'd crest the hill and I'd come down. Then first couple hills, they gained on me, by the third, fourth hill. They'd already cooked themselves. And we got another, 80, 90 miles to go. And just pedaling along, So it takes restraint. Okay, Meredith Brooks. Hi, Brett. Exclamation point. I'm a big fan of the show. Have been a faithful listener since 2006. Exclamation point. Looking forward to the Hornet Juice arriving as I enter into the last stretch of training for Ironman Texas. As a side note, I had a chance to meet you, Emily and Kai, and Emily's dad in 2012 at the Tyler Rose Marathon. What a great course! Exclamation point. Tyler is such a beautiful but hilly exclamation point town. I'm from Monroe, Louisiana, and every time I saw Emily's dad on the course, he would yell, "Go Monroe!" Emily's dad's awesome. Best of luck with your training and recovery. Hope to listen to an Uberman race report this fall. Exclamation point. Thanks again, Meredith. Let's see. Ironman Texas. I'll give people a little bit of Zen coaching right here. On Slow Twitch, there was a thread that said official Ironman Texas 2017 thread, exclamation or question mark at the end of it. There was a question mark at the end of it, and it had like 6 posts on it. And I wrote, well, it might not be if you leave this with a question mark at the end of it. Be firm in what you're saying. Believe in yourself. And it's the people that believe in themselves that get traction. Okay, John Meisner sent in a donation. Brett, thanks for continuing to produce such an engaging oh crap, I just clicked on it and it went away. This is how you know this podcast is for real. There it is. Thanks for continuing to produce such an engaging and informative podcast. John Meisner, pronounced Meisner. Got it. Twitter, at John Meisner AZ, like Arizona. JohnMisner AZ. Instagram, John M_AZ. Next races, Oceanside, 70.3. Ooh. 5th time and just aged into male 60 to 64. Triple freaking exclamation points. Way to go, man. I got a friend that's 72 and he's so excited about doing Ironmans for his 30th year. I can barely contain myself being his friend. He's crazy. Another sip of the coffee here. September, he's going to do Ironman Wisconsin. How about that? Okay, James Medlock sent in a donation. It's not much, but I'll try to keep some coming. Really enjoy the podcast. 3 exclamation points. And then in all caps, he wrote 3 exclamation points with an exclamation point at the end of that. All right. And now we're to our less exclamation pointy donors. We got Joseph Rogalski, M. Webb, Spiros Fetsis, Tyler Moyer, Joseph Diber or Deber, either way works for me. Dwayne Morin, Jonathan Woodman, James Von Hippel, Houston Marsh. What's up, dude? Michael Radagna, and Brett Hoyer with the coolest first name in triathlon. I emailed back Meredith Brooks and said, "What's up?" And she said she's been listening all the way back to 2006. Grew up in Houston. Oh my gosh, this is a long email. I forgot about this. Grew up in Houston, Clear Lake, actually, which is right in the middle between downtown Houston and Galveston. Dude, I know. I've been there. And my parents have a sailboat down there. My husband and I moved to Kentucky in 2006 for him to attend grad school. And I was just getting into distance running and triathlon when I came across your podcast. Only 2 podcasts I listened to at that point were Adam Curry and Dawn and Drew. That's awesome. So it was great to find a podcast that I could relate to. Exclamation point. By the way, that's why I made it, is because all the podcasts were like those and there weren't any good endurance ones. And let's see, I was incredibly homesick for the first few years, but listening to you train and race in College Station, Tyler, Kingwood, Galveston, Port Aransas made me glad that I had left. No, wait. That's not what I said. Made me feel like I was back in Texas. This is what I was talking about either in this show earlier or later in the training log or on a previous show. Community. Community makes wherever you are okay. Find people that are into what you're doing, and all of a sudden it doesn't matter where you are. And that's what we can do with podcasts. The reason I started listening to podcasts is I was living in College Station, and I just left San Diego with all this tech and coolness, and now I'm stuck in some little farm town out in the middle of nowhere, and I've got no tech. And man, podcasts were full of tech, and I just loved it. It was so great. And I could be caught up with what's going on in technology no matter where I was. It was awesome. And triathlon. My favorite show moments are always the audio you record around races. It's awesome that you are now podcasting Kai's races! Exclamation point. It's fun to hear what you eat, how you prep, your post-race thoughts, etc. Keep up the great work with the training, coaching, and podcasting. It is much appreciated! Exclamation point. Well, Meredith, I can tell you actually put a lot of work into that email, and I really appreciate it. I have such a long-time fan that understands me. It understands the craziness of this show. This show is about nothing. Nothing. Just like that. Except doing triathlon and endurance. There is no point. The point will reveal itself as you do it. Simon Wright. Oh, I misspelled that. Sorry. He can't tell though. Shh, don't tell him. Karen Jackson, Daniel Clemens, Justice Phillips, Hun Chu, John Mulan, Katie Joe, Favia, James Godek, and Peter Salzin. All right, if you want to be one of these cool people that gets their name mentioned on the show between sips of coffee and hemp powder, which has no THC in it, unfortunately. I'm getting a phone call. I'm not going to answer that right now. I'm busy recording. Wait, here, you can listen to a phone call between me and Emily. Here we go. Yes, dear. What's going on? I'm recording a podcast right now. I can't answer the phone. They're not here. Well, I mean, they're here, but they're just not here. I'm just waiting for them to show up. Yeah, Whataburger's fine. Yes. You got it, baby. Okay, love you too. All right. Yes? Okay. Okay. I'll make sure. All right. Love you. Bye. Dinner arrangements. Okay. Let's see. Where'd I leave off? Oh, you can go to zentriathlon.com and go on the left-hand side. Let's have a scroll moment and go back to it. That's what this show is about. That phone call right there. It's about trying to be a triathlete and a parent or a kid or being in school or whatever, because triathlon takes so much time, but it's so fulfilling. But it takes so much time that trying to balance it all. And when you learn trying to balance it all, you can't balance it all. It's all too much. So that reveals the cracks in your armor, it reveals your real personality and under stress. And through that, you can find out things you need to work on and how to be a better person, you know? There was something I heard today or yesterday about boys need about 3 hours of exercise a day. And exercise can just be walking around, but they need to be moving like 3 hours a day to be happy so they're not depressed. Girls need supposedly less. They never said how much less, but boys are the worst, so that's what they said. That's why they mentioned the boys. 3 hours of exercise a day to be happy and not be depressed. So what about you? How much do you think you need? I know I need about 3 hours. I'm way better if I do 3 hours. Dude, if I do 3 hours of training in a day, I'm in heaven. And that it doesn't have to be hard. It's just easy. So done with the scroll moment. We go back to go to ZenTriathlon.com. I'm going to go there, right? I'm going to type it in so you can see what it sounds like. That you won't die. ZenTriath. Oh, crap. I misspelled LON.com. And on the left-hand side, first thing you see is subscribe with iTunes. USAT certified. I'm just plain up certified. Oh, here comes a cyclist. Here comes one of Kai's coaches. Man, he looks legit. And let's see. Oh, yeah. You can do donations. There's little PayPal button looking links on the left side. You can do one-time donation or multiple donations, and recurring, I mean. Really cool. Both ways, you get my email. And on the right-hand side, you can order Hornet Juice, which is an amino acid powder. I use it all the time for longer workouts. Short stuff, too, sometimes because it tastes kind of cool. It's amino acid that enables your fat burning to be turned up to diesel bulldozer level. So you can just go and go and go and go. And it's really kick butt, man. You love this stuff. I get emails all the time from people trying it out and coming back for more. And they can't believe it, how well it works. It is not for use in the bedroom. You can use it in the bedroom, but that's not what it's for unless you have a major deposit on the bedroom, because we do not need endurance athletes taking extra endurance fuel and then going into the bedroom and destroying all the furniture. And I'll just leave it at that. And I think that's it. All right, let's get on to the rest of the show. I need to wrap this up because I need to go into dad mode. I need to leave podcaster mode and go into dad mode and go help out with Kai's team. So let's go ahead and get started with the training log. Take you with me while I go out and do stuff. All right, here we go.
You are entering the ZenTri training log zone. Huneli.
Hi everybody, my name's Brett. I'm a triathlete.
I decided it's time I got some friends more suited to my status.
But Joe, we've been friends for years.
Hey, we all make mistakes. Come on, dudes, let's go exercise! Exercise! Yeah! I'm gonna do sit-ups till I poop myself!
All right, welcome to a new ZenTri training log. It's Thursday. Is it Thursday? Thursday, March, maybe the 8th. And I just passed the drop-off point for Kai's school. So, a tip for parents that want to make their kids badass. Aqua Teen Hunger Force, badass. Is you try to get them to bike to school. And the way we've got Kai biking to school, we do have a dangerous intersection that he could probably get through, but right now it's just on the border of being a little bit sketchy. But then past that, it's fine. So I drive him past that intersection, then pull over on the side of the road, and then kick his butt out of the car. And we have fun with it. He pretends he's like a paratrooper jumping out of an airplane. You know how they go, 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 go. And then also usually that's what we do. And today he goes, transition, like triathlon. And he jumped out of the car, and I got his bike off the car, and then he hopped on it, put on his helmet and his backpack, and they're both, thank God, this is the trend right now, this hot yellow, neon yellow. And he put those on and then took off on the bike the rest of the way, about 2 miles to school. I am drinking a coffee out of a cycling water bottle in the car, and I put hemp powder in it because hemp powder will sink to the bottom, but if it's in a cycling water bottle, I can stir it, then take a sip. Very good. Speaking of that, I had a kick-butt bike ride. I'm still doing the keto diet. It's not high-fat, low-carb. It's like high-fat, almost no carb, because if you do high-fat, low-carb, apparently you're just miserable all the time. And when I finally saw a video on YouTube where a guy said that, I was like, because if you go back and forth, going into ketosis and then coming back out sucks. Well, I guess it sucks both ways. Because yesterday I ate a little bit too many carbs at lunch, and I forgot what I had. But it put me to sleep in about 10 minutes. I was so sleepy, and it knocked me out. It was almost comical. And but anyway, I had a bike ride from hell, like in a good way, this morning. It was kick-ass. And on Strava, posted pictures on Instagram, ZenTri on Instagram. I earned the Tron bike. There's a bike that's, if you ride enough in, not Strava, Zwift, then you can unlock bikes. And I got the bike with the wheels that glow like Tron. It's really cool. And then you can do a slider and do a rainbow of colors. And I picked the blue. I like the blue. And I posted some pictures of that, rode up the volcano, and my numbers, wattage and heart rate, were just out of this world, like good. And on top of all that, last night had a good run. I woke up this morning and my right heel with the plantar fasciitis hurt just the tiniest bit and then went away pretty quick. So I'm like, I've been wearing it. My plantar fasciitis was really bad on the left foot, way worse than the right. So for months, I've been wearing the boot most of the time on the left side, and it seems like that worked, and it's pretty much healed up. And the right side is making sure I got a lymph node that feels big. Am I dying? Oh, flowchart, WebMD, all paths lead to cancer. And what was I talking about? Running. And dude, I am running now pretty much every day, and running between 4 and 6. One time I did 6.5 miles and felt fine. And what I figured out is running is so soothing and therapeutic, and it relieves. I just feel like so de-stressed. And what I figured out is I just got to jog. I cannot run. I have to actually jog. And that's as hard as I can go. Here's another sip of the hemp powder in my coffee. It's not that bad. It's not good, but it ain't bad. And if I just jog, it ends up being like 10.5, starting off like 11-minute mile, and then 10 and a half. Strava, when you post your stuff, you can link Sunto to your Strava, and then Strava does it does gap, and that means grade adjusted performance. I don't know, but it does. It'll tell you if you were running on flat ground how fast you were running, and that's nice, right? Because then I'm like, oh, okay. Well, if I was running on flat ground, then it goes, oh, you were running just under a 10, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And so if I jog, then I can run pretty much every day some, And it's so nice. And speaking of that, I don't have it on me, but I'm going to do an official review of this thing. I've got this new light that I'm using to run in the dark. And I've only run with it once, but wow, it is so much better. What I noticed during the Rocky Raccoon is you can, if your light is down low, you run it trail running, then it casts a shadow. If you're wearing a headlamp, you get no shadows, and then it's easy to trip and fall. And if you wear a light like down by your waist, then it casts a shadow, and then you can see stuff and not fall down. And then, though there's this light that you can wear, and it clips to your waist, and it does it's got the surface of it's white. It's got 5 LEDs, and it does different levels and all that crap. But then it's got the surface is roughed a little bit, a matte finish, so it spreads the light real wide. And so it's like a little bit of a floodlight, and it's just soothing. And then I have a blinky red light on behind me, and I just felt like I could run with so much less stress because I'm not worried about a car coming up behind me and not seeing me. I'm not worried about tripping and falling and breaking my stupid arm again. And I'm also, if a car comes up, ahead of me, they can see me. So I need to do a review. I'll probably do it at the front of the show of a review of this light. All right, I'm at W to the ERK. Made it just in time. So I'll talk to you guys later. Out. Bang. All right, we need to mention UCAN. UCAN is a super starch. This is really cool stuff. It's a super slow-acting carbohydrate, almost to the point of your body doesn't know what it's doing. It's like I'm getting energy from somewhere else that's happening. And it's really great for swimming. You want to go swim for an hour and not be needing to, take sips from a bottle on the side. Your coach hits you over the head with a kickboard, like my coach used to do. Quit jacking around. Get back in the water. Quit being lazy at the wall. Keep on swimming. And you can do this, especially in races, right? You're going to do an Ironman. You're going to be in the water for an hour. You're doing a half Ironman. You're going to be in the water for half an hour plus. You're going to be going and going and going. You don't have a chance to drink or refuel out there. You can't drink out of a bottle while you're swimming. Well, you kind of can with UCAN, because UCAN is a very, very slow drip carbohydrate. And so it slowly releases into your system, so you can kind of preload with this stuff before you're going to do something long. It also kind of saves your teeth from all that sugar, right? Because you can power this stuff down. It's actually pretty easy to drink. And then you have energy for like an hour, hour and a half from this stuff. This is really cool. So it comes in different flavors. You have chocolate. You have some stuff with some protein added in if you want that, and some electrolytes added in if you want that. And they also have orange, tropical punch, and all this different stuff. And so what I do is I get up in the morning, I drink. I have a little bit of breakfast, tiny little bit of breakfast, some coffee, and then right before I leave to go to the pool, I drink a bottle of UCAN pretty quickly, and then by the time I get to the pool, you got your energy, you feel nice and good. That's slow release, and it just works, man. It's really amazing, and it's actually helped me break the habit of needing sugar by the side of the pool. I think I've pretty much turned around, pretty positive. I've turned around my needs for sugar by using UCAN. I've become much less sugar dependent and way more fat enhanced metabolism going on, and I did it through using UCAN. The latest thing that I've done with it is one time I did it half the swim, but my latest was I did a full swim, nonstop butterfly for 1 hour after drinking UCAN. 3,150 yards, nonstop, all butterfly, drinking UCAN. Before I got to the pool, chocolate flavored was what I did. And I just swam easy, smooth, and did the whole thing. I posted the workout. You can go check it out. It was crazy. And I plan on doing it more because it was actually fun. It actually wasn't even all that hard. I just kept it easy. And you can do the same kind of stuff, a long, continuous workout, hour and a half, without needing the fuel by pre-fueling with UCAN. Check it out. You go to UCAN's website, and they have the opportunity for you to put in a discount code. If you use discount code ZenTri, ZenTri, all caps, you can get it 15% off. How about that? That's pretty cool. And then they turn around and send a little bit this way to ZenTri itself. And man, if that's not a good advertisement for these guys, this stuff works. It's awesome. I love it. You can get a discount. You can support ZenTri. Get on it. Get on it. Break all that sugar. Break that habit, man. Get on something that's a little bit better for you with some UCAN. All right, let's get back to the episode. Here we go. All right, I am back. Have a little a keto diet update. Wait, first disclaimer: I do not recommend keto diet for anybody. It's way too experimental, and I'm still learning. So always just take this as, oh, that's interesting. You don't have to believe me or get inspired to do it too. But I'm trying to document observations of things that happen, of what's different, and something just happened, so I thought I'd record it. So I went to Freebirds, which is my local burrito place, and they also do salads, so I went to go pick up my salad. And I'm also going home for lunch, so I swing by Freebirds, order a salad real quick, and then go by my house, sit there for a minute, meditate, and also let the dogs out, because our backyard sucks right now, and the dogs like to dig out, so they're staying inside, and I go let them out at lunch, because the poor little babies can't be left inside, because if they're left inside, then they'll tear up stuff. So one of the dogs for sure has to stay in a kennel, and then that's horrible to do that for 8 hours. So I go home at lunch and then let the dogs out. Oh my God. Anyway, as I get more and more into doing this diet thing, this keto lifestyle, why do they call it a diet? You're not dying. They should call it a live it. One thing I noticed is being able to go longer without eating, and but it's not longer without eating, because what's the point of that? I mean, that's dumb. It's when things pop up where it's inconvenient to eat, and I need to do something else, and I'll give you an example here in a second, then not eating and putting off eating doesn't drive me crazy, and I don't have to engineer my life around eating. Sip of Diet Coke. I still drink Diet Coke every once in a while. Oh, here comes an ambulance. Might have to pull over. We'll see. I'm on a different street, and no, they went a different way. So not eating. So I went by Freebirds and got my salad. Now, before the keto diet and while doing high carb, Ironman, triathlon, whatever, I would have not been able to grab that salad to go and then continue on to my house. I would have had, and then eat it 15 minutes later. I would have gone crazy and needed to eat it right then and there. And it wouldn't have been a salad, it would have been a burrito. And that is different. That is majorly different. And then on top of that, I haven't had anything to eat since I got to work at 8 in the morning. I didn't need to snack. I was hungry, and I was like, but it wasn't like ruling my world. There's these baby cows following this little girl pulling a wagon off to the side. That's funny. And that is definitely weird, and or definitely different. I mean, that's the way it should be. I'm a little bit hungry, but it's not killing me. And then when I think about it, check this out. I got up this morning. I had some full fat creamer, whatever it's called, in my coffee. Had some MCT oil, and then had a little bit of butter in my coffee. I'm trying to think what else I had. Anyway, it was mostly fat. I can't really remember. Mostly fat. And then I did my bike ride, and I had a stomping good result bike ride. And during the bike ride, I had 100 calories of maltodextrin and maple syrup. And then when the bike ride was over, I made a coffee and put some hemp powder in my coffee and then drank it. And then before I left the house, I scrambled some eggs. And then right when I got to work, I did have a couple of scrambled eggs with some guacamole, and I had something else in it. And guacamole, just a little bit of salsa. Trying to keep the carbs down to almost none. Right? Now, if I was doing regular old carb Brett, I would have had cereal before my workout. I would have had something medium to high carby after my workout. And then I would have been snacking and hungry all morning. And then when I got to Freebirds, I would have had to eat it right there. And so basically, I've had 2 eggs and some guacamole and hemp powder and after my workout, and some fat before my workout, and then nothing for a long time. And the workout was incredible. My run last night was great. I loved it. And then this morning I was in an incredible mood, and I feel just like really good. And now I'm driving to my house, and my salad is over here, and it's got sour cream and guacamole on it. It's got refried beans, which has fat in it, and no rice. And I feel fine. I'm just the tiniest bit hungry, and I'm going to be excited. I'm going to power through the salad. I'm going to love it, but it is just totally different. And then all morning, I've only peed a few times at most. And that because I drank a lot, and it's just completely different, and I just really don't know what to make of it. There were some moments this morning where my brain just felt on fire, like with clarity and purpose, and I'm trying to think of the word, focus. Anyway, it sounds funny trying to say all that and then trying to search for the word. Anyway, I'm going to go into the house and eat my salad and let the dogs out and come back to y'all in a bit. I just want to give that keto diet update, that basically another time where I've put off eating because it was inconvenient. Instead of eating ruling my life, I'm actually able to run my life a little bit more conveniently around when I can eat. It's definitely different. All right, that's it. Out, bang. All right. I'm back driving home for lunch. We're in the process of looking for another new house on a full acre so we get some trees and green. Our house, we built it, and then all of a sudden we got a major thoroughfare, not a major, but a loud street right behind us opened up, which sucks. It's very stressful. Don't like it. But anyway, I was doing some fun stuff in the swimming pools this morning. Been doing. Everybody knows I've been talking about it forever. I tend to swim an hour nonstop, and I set a timer, a repeating timer, and over the past couple months, I've worked down from a 127 pace per 100 yards down to a 123, which is the 123 area is really new territory for me. So, getting from 127 down to 125, I can do that. Not too, I've been there before, so that's not a surprise, but getting down into the 123s on a regular basis is like, whoa. And I kind of figured out what's going on is because I can look on the Sunto website and see my pace and then see where it starts to fall apart. And I'm good for the first 40 minutes. And I actually get a little bit ahead of pace. I'm doing like a 122, and I get about 25 to almost 50 yards ahead of schedule. And then around 40 minutes in, I start fading. And my big problem is oxygen. I think at 6'3" and 180 something pounds, I need a lot of air. And I just can't get that much air in. My body just goes, bah. And anyway, I can see my pace is falling apart. So the last 20 minutes is working pretty hard, but I can't work too hard because I'm already a little bit tired and I'm running out of air, and I've got 20 minutes to go, so I can't go really, really hard. So that ends up being sweet spot training, and 20 minutes of sweet spot training. Sweet spot's where you get really good return on your effort. Some people train almost exclusively their hard stuff in sweet spot. It's not too hard. It's not too easy. It's just right. And 20 minutes of sweet spot improves you. And guess what? That's what it's doing. So that's my little claim to fame for my 1 hour swims, about how they work. Because the first 40 minutes is pretty much just 30 to 40 minutes, pretty much just warm up, and then it hits. But anyway, I'm really excited about that kind of thing. Let's see. I got a note from somebody. One that he's got the Apple EarPods. God, I can't. I'm sorry, man. Well, let me look it up on Twitter. Y'all stay with me, because it was on Twitter. And let me see if I can get over there. I'm clicking on my phone. Sorry about that. And we are going over to, I use Hootsuite as my Twitter thing. And he said he's down in Australia, Queensland, Australia, Northern Australia, and it's been summer down there, and he's using the iPhone AirPods, the wireless earphones that Apple just came out with. And I'm almost there. And they are very much water resistant, stay in his ears. If you wear your helmet straps the right way, they won't blow out of your ears while you ride your bike. And he is Flame Rock, FlameRock on Twitter. What's up, dude? And then who was it? Oh, so much appreciated, man. That's exactly why I do podcasts, is to get stuff out there, and then for us all to pitch in and help each other out with ideas and solutions. And speaking of that, I tweeted that I was on Zwift, which is the video game, for almost 3.5 hours on Sunday morning, biking, and I tweeted at Zwift too. It's Go Zwift. And but to ride that long, I switched my. You don't have a choice on Worlds. It's either this beautiful, crazy island with all kinds of stuff, and that can make time actually fly by pretty good, or this course in Richmond, Virginia, or this course in London. The Richmond and London are actually kind of short, way shorter in comparison, and way less interesting, in my opinion, than Watopia, like Watts, bike Watts. That is the Fantasy Island. Welcome to Fantasy Island. Zip plane! And you can only ride them on certain dates. So if you change the clock on your computer and then log in the Zwift, it'll give you the island, even though it's not supposed to, because it thinks you're on a different date. I think y'all know what I mean. Anyway, it's a way to hack into get the course that you want. And then somebody tweeted at me, and I got your name right here, that you don't even need to do that. That you can go to a file in your computer and add a tag called world, and then add a 1, 2, or 3 for the different worlds, and you can get the world you want. Always. You can always get Watopia. And I'm super stoked about that. Thank you, man. And it was Pat Harms, Harms, Pat_Harms. So big props to you, Pat, for that. A lot of people will appreciate that. I retweeted it. And he said he actually doesn't like the London course, and he's going to do it on his own computer, which was really cool. All right, I need to eat. I'm hungry, man. I'll talk to y'all later. Oh, man, I've got a new run course. If I run on really flat ground, it seems like I can run without it making my feet worse. In fact, it makes my feet a little bit better every day. And then I'm happy because I can run. I think I talked about that already. But there's this one run course around my house. I was running it last night going, man, maybe I don't want to move. This is pretty nice. Flat sidewalk, because camber in the road kind of messes with my feet. And then lit with street lights. And then I don't have to run with a run light and a blinky light on my back because it's I'm in a neighborhood with street lights. And you don't need running lights with that. And I've got 2 dogs, and they both love to run. So I can run about half an hour with one dog, drop that dog off at my house, and then run another half an hour and after I've picked up the other dog. It's really funny. I've been doing this forever. We've almost always had 2 dogs. And people will see me running with one dog, and then a little while later, they see me running with another dog. Like within the same hour. And they're like within the same few minutes sometimes. And I've had neighbors that I know stop me and go, weren't you just with a Dalmatian? And now you've got a Greyhound? And I remember going, oh yeah, I dropped one off and picked the other one up. And they go, they can't run long enough to run with you the whole time. And well, it depends on the dog breed. Greyhounds don't like to run a long distance. They like to run short really fast and like crazy fast. But they don't like to run really far. And then the dog's size and fur coat can make it overheat. So Kona is a big black lab, and he can overheat way easier than the little yellow Zoe Cur mix that we've got, for example. So it all kind of depends. And so 3 miles is pretty good. If I run almost every day, then they're getting in some good mileage. All right, that's it. Now I need to eat. Out. Bing. All right. Man, I had a breakthrough swim this morning that I want to share with y'all. Tell you what I did so that you can do the exact same thing. I was telling somebody in the locker room, swim is all about drag. It's all about body position. And so if we can figure this out, when one of us figures something out that's cool, share it so we can all get faster and enjoy swimming a hell of a lot more. Okay, I was watching Jordan Rapp, who's a big name pro, and I had an exchange on Slow Twitch forums yesterday. And I wrote something back, and then I deleted it because I'm like, I don't want to get into a back and forth because that'll suck up time during my day. And I was about to write I wrote about how I was trying to improve my time over by emulating Sun Yang. And Sun Yang, I talk about him every once in a while on the podcast, has this incredible swim form that's almost mystical, mysterious. It looks so different than most people. And he's taking fewer strokes, but he's going faster than everybody else. So he's doing something different. And since his turnover isn't faster, then it looks slow. It looks easier. So why this is something that we should be trying to figure out, because if it looks easier than what everybody else is doing, then it's probably attainable by most of us or all of us, since it's not some crazy thing that you have to have crazy VO2 max or something like that to do it. Anyway, and I tried on and off for years, trying to figure out what it is, and I finally nailed down at least a big portion of it that made a big difference. He swims with his, I was about to say from his waist up, but it's definitely from his knees up, with his torso and butt underwater. And then when he's not underwater, then the back of his head, his shoulders are hardly, I spend much less time breaking the water surface And when you break the water surface, it creates back turbulence, creates a little bit of a suction effect that holds you back, slows you down. So how does he do that and still, how does he do that and still swim? How does he keep his most 2/3 of his body underwater without having problems? And there's a video of him that's just repeating. It's a loop, and it's got him in 5 different camera angles or 6 or something like that, and it's just looping every few seconds. And the video itself is probably a few minutes long, but it's a few minutes long of a 3-second, 10-second loop or something like that. And what I realized is that he's doing is his torso and his head are underwater. He's arching his back a little bit, so his butt is actually up close to the waterline. And because he arches his back, he's able to get his head and shoulders and arm entry parallel with the water. So basically, his butt and the back of his legs are parallel to the water and really close to the surface. And then he arches his back at the waist, and that angle goes down 6 inches, right? But then that arch in his back curves back flat again. Well, it curves so that from his belly button forward, his belly button to the tip of his head, it's flat again with the water. So it's, if you're going from the feet forward, feet and butt are flat with the water, like 1 inch below the water, and then at the butt to his belly button, that's angled down, I don't know, 30-degree angle, something like that. And then belly button to tip of his head is parallel to the surface of the water at like 6 inches below the water, let's say. It's probably 3 inches, I don't know, but it doesn't matter. It's far enough under where now everything from his butt up is not breaking the surface tension of the water. So the water's flowing smoothly over him. Okay, and now that everything's flowing smoothly under him, he takes a breath, and then he throws his arm over, and then enters his arm with a throwing motion. And then when that enters the water, it goes deep and then forward parallel with the water surface. And it's so that's not creating any drag. And when he takes a breath, he rotates on his side, and he spends, when you watch this video loop, he spends a significant amount of time. He spends a majority of his time, let's put it that way, 75% of his time with his torso underwater, 25% of his time with his head maybe breaking the surface and his shoulder and arm breaking the surface to get air. Who messaged me? And then right back under again, right? Then when you look at it in comparison to the competition, they spend 75% of their time with their body breaking the surface and 25% of their time underwater. So I was like, but where is he getting the torso? And I finally figured out that it's at that butt to belly button and a arch of the back right there. And then that gets your torso underwater, but then flat again. And so I tried it this morning, and I have my watch timer set to 1:23, and I was gliding along, and I was beating my time. I was in the 1:22s, and I was like, holy crap. And I kind of experimented around a little bit and kind of lost some time here and gained some time there, and was just kind of messing around. I tried to swim more even and controlled, and that actually slowed me down So I went back to kind of the arm throw and with a pump and a glide after that, and that sped me back up. And I couldn't believe it. In an hour, I swam 4,375 yards with less effort than I usually do to swim 50 yards shorter, 50 yards slower. And it was amazing. And it's actually it's a loping kind of gait, just bird to bird to bird to bird, and just nice and even. And am I late to work? Oh crap, I'm late to work. W to the ERK, gotta go. And then on top of all that is I got up this morning and had a cup of coffee with butter and a little bit of heavy whipping cream in it and Himalayan pink salt. And that was snack one. And then I had a big serving of UCAN, just plain flavored. Washed that down and then got in my car. Oh, I know what the other trick was. On the way in, I drank coffee again, so I had my second cup of coffee. I always do that. And then I put butter and MCT oil in it. And I think that was my source of energy. I never felt lacking for energy. I'm still not hungry now. And so basically I was in ketosis while doing it. I swam the fastest I've ever swam with no carbs. That is absolutely crazy. Fastest I ever swam efficiently with the least amount of effort. Oh man, oh my God, I'm so blown away. I'm on cloud nine. I don't know what to do with myself. But I got to go into W to the ERK. Let's get it on. All right, on my way to the house. No, to work. W to the ERK. Man, I've had two just epic workouts. So I already yacked about yesterday's swim, and then I'm going to tell you about this morning's bike ride because it was very, very, very similar. But I'm going to get a little bit meta. I'm listening to a podcast, The Art of Charm, which I had to force myself to listen to. I've been listening to it for a couple of years probably, but I had to force myself to listen to it a couple of years ago because it was just popular. So I was like, well, I'll check it out. It had a good show or something like that. And turns out it's not about being sleazy, manipulative. I hate that. Charming people to cheat your way through life. It's kind of more about how to be I don't know, it's like techniques and stuff like that, but it's not cheesy, and it's not to pick up chicks at all. And so anyway, it's a good podcast. So The Art of Charm. And today's guest that he's interviewing is a guy that does the art of manliness, and which is a big website. I don't know if they do a podcast or not, but so that's meta when things start referencing themselves, about themselves, until it's turtles all the way down. If you ever hear the phrase turtles all the way down, that comes from a speech that a professor was giving about, a science professor was giving about the universe and the about the origins of the universe, like Big Bang and stuff like that. And he was teaching somewhere, and some anti-evolution Jesus rode around on dinosaurs lady stood up and said, well, how do you explain that? Or she said, I don't know, it's quoted online, you can find it. I believe that the earth is what the ancient Greeks thought it, well, I don't know if they thought this, but anyway, that somebody was holding up the earth on the back of a tortoise, and then that tortoise stood on top of another tortoise, and that stood on top of another tortoise. And the professor said, well, what's under that tortoise? And she said, another tortoise. This is in front of a huge auditorium audience, and people are like, well, oh my God, is this for real, this person? And then she said, and then he thought he had her, and he said, well, what's under that one? He's trying to make a point that at some point, there's got to be something. And she said, well, that's easy. It's turtles all the way down. But the point is, down to what? What's the last turtle standing on? Crazy person. Anyway, so when somebody says it's turtles all the way down, that is a reference to just lunacy, insanity about something's never ending and it goes to infinity and there is no point. Okay, so the art of manliness, being interviewed on the art of charm, is turtles all the way down. But the guy said something that I really like, where he said, I don't like this, and oh God, what was the thing? This corporate speak, what's your branding and all, whatever. And he goes, I put those two things together in the same toilet. And I was like, oh man, I need to start saying that. I like that a lot. I put that and that and that all together in the same toilet. Just flush those turds down. Okay, let's see. Bike ride this morning. Got up and had cream. Whipping cream, heavy, whatever cream. Not half and half, but cream in my coffee. And what else did I have? I just remembered something I needed to say. Butter. Whip it with my aerator. And sea salt, Himalayan sea salt. And by the way, the whole point of me talking about the art of manliness was, he said, what makes men is having what men. This applies to women too. So it's all just sales stuff. Anyway, is having and they know that, is having not just being strong, but strong with a purpose. What's your purpose? And then that is having virtue and being manly. Women totally have purpose too, probably more purpose. But anyway, that's what makes men feel manly. And when you feel the right way, that's in tune with what you want to get done, then you get things done, and there's back to your purpose, and then you feel good, and then you're happy. Boom, zen. Okay, but back to the workout. Butter, cream in my coffee, and then I meditated. And what was the purpose of my meditation? My purpose was I've realized the purpose, the reason I like it, is giving myself some space for 5-10 minutes. Things come to mind that I might have forgotten. I'm like, oh crap. What am I going to do about A, B, or C? And so giving yourself a little bit of space, the margins, has a purpose. And so then after that, had another cup of coffee. I always drink 2 cups of coffee in the morning. And unless I'm going to go run, then that's a little bit too much coffee. I have to stop and pee. But anyway, tablespoon of MCT oil, and UCAN. Well, UCAN takes about 30 minutes. UCAN Superstarch to start working. So I do a quick chug of a serving of UCAN, and then I do coffee, my second cup of coffee with the MCT oil in it, and then I sip on that. Dude, who am I behind? And why are you driving freaking 2 miles per hour? And anyway, got on the bike, and I thought, yesterday's swim was so insanely powerful. Best swim of my life. And my entire life, 43 years old, had the best swim of my life. And it was so powerful. So I'm going to do exactly what I did. I'm not going to use carbs during my bike ride. I'm just going to do this UCAN and MCT oil ahead of time, and then start biking, and just not even bringing any carbs with me. I don't even think I need them. And so I'm pedaling around Zwift Island, Watopia, with the volcanoes, and there's people all over there, and I'm pedaling around. And holy crap, the watts felt great. Never even thought. It was until the ride was over, I was like, oh yeah, I didn't have any fuel. And just vibrating with energy. So possibly the ketosis stuff is really starting to kick in, and I'm having a good time. I ran last night And it was just kind of average. So, but I did bring fuel on my run, and then I only used about half of it. I didn't want the rest. Like, I didn't want it. I was like, nah, I don't want that. That was weird. Because usually I'm like, oh, more. Okay, I got to go into W to the ERK. Live your day with purpose. Out, bang. What's my purpose? My purpose is to work. Get your work on. All right, let's take a break and mention Amrita bars. Oh, I just had one. Where is it? Where's the wrapper? It was the chocolate maca attack. Let's see, let me go get it right here. Because they have regular energy bars, and then they have their recovery energy bars. Here it is. Oh, Amrita, plant-based nutrition, chocolate maca, 15 grams of protein in one bar. How about that? I have the high protein ones after I swim. Oh man, it's such good stuff. They have all different kinds of flavors. They are I wouldn't say non-allergenic, because that's like that's not the right wording. Hypoallergenic. There's no nuts. They use seeds instead for the protein. So if you have a nut allergy, there's no worries there. They are vegan friendly and no animal products used inside. Gluten-free, dairy-free, peanut-free, soy-free. Long time sponsor of the show. Kai was in a soccer game today, drinking out of an Amrita water bottle. Speaking of the other stuff they make, they have all kinds of cool gear. And he scored 2 goals. Now, if you eat Amrita bars, will you score 2 goals in life? Probably. You never know. Got to find out. And you can find out by going to amritahealthfoods.com and using discount code ZEN2016. That's discount code ZEN2016. It's actually a really cool fuel for long rides because it's super easy to digest. And also, here's another thing. They don't freeze. A lot of bars, the competition, uses stuff that will actually freeze when it gets cold. As we head into winter, Amrita bars stay soft. You can open one up and plow through it nice and chewy, and they're date-based. It's really cool. The way I eat Amrita bars when I'm biking along is I open one up, or I'll maybe pre-open one before I get going on the bike. But anyway, I take a bite out of it, like maybe a quarter or a third of the bar in one bite, and then I fold the end of the wrapper back over the rest of the bar, and then I put it on my quad. I stuff it up the front of my bike shorts from the knee side, kind of push it up in there, and it stays flat with my quad right here, right there. And then 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later, I just grab it, pull it back out, push the bar forward in the wrapper, boom, another bite, and it keeps your stomach feeling so good, super smooth, super nice. There's cardamom in it, which actually soothes the stomach. So, all right, that's it for Amrita bars. Thank you so much for being a sponsor. Show them some love. Again, discount code 2016, ZEN2016 at amritahealthfoods.com. And also they have, like I said, a big store with all kinds of cool gear, shirts, jerseys, water bottles, fun stuff like that. Go check them out. All right, back to the episode. All right. I've had something come across my mind several times that I wanted to talk about. I got a few minutes here, but I've never really talked about it before. I think it's kind of important because I see it happening a lot. And it's about people that are, I wouldn't always say younger, but they give up something, they want to quit something because they want a bigger challenge in life. So I've seen several people that I've worked with over the years. I got one right now that wants to quit their current job because it's not challenging enough. They feel like they want to do something, just more challenging. But from the outside looking in, which is always not the best place to be to make an observation or a judgment, but things are actually really good where they're at. And the change that they want to make is a major change where they're going to move across the country, completely change careers, turn things upside down. And I've told them that what they're looking for is something to challenge themselves. And I've been there, I've done that. And if they would, and these are people that are not triathletes, and they're not ultra runners, they're not, but they're somewhat athletic. Some of them are really athletic. They're kind of all over the board, but they're not endurance athletes, I think is my point. And I tell them, and what I want is to get the word out there that if you're in that position as well, if you would only give a try to running an ultra marathon instead of turning your life upside down and quitting your career, your job, all that stuff. Go try a Spartan beast, or I don't know. You start off small, right? But try an endurance thing where you fail. And you will fail. You will not do as good as you think you're going to do. You will find it incredibly difficult. And if you choose appropriately, you won't take something that you failed too terribly at, but and die or go to the hospital. But maybe you'll finish, but you'll struggle. And then you'll realize this is a Zen thing here. No matter where you go, the thing you're looking for is a challenge to find yourself, to find, what you're made of, to push yourself to be better. And the coolest thing about endurance sports is you can do that, and it's portable. You can do it anywhere. You can take it with you, and you can do it on a schedule and do it on a regular basis. And you can compartmentalize that part of your life and have it not completely turn your life upside down. After I got into the longer distance triathlon, the short triathlons, and I started getting the longer distance stuff, I realized this stuff is really, really difficult, and it's so riddled with mystery and puzzle and strategies and your own shortcomings that and there's all the problems with it, and then there's all the opportunities to practice it. There's hundreds, thousands of ultra marathons, endurance events, trail running, and you get out it's just you in the woods and in the dark, and you keep falling down, man. You keep falling down. You got dirt all over you, right? You can't your flashlight battery dies, and then it starts raining, and then you get cold. You get really cold, man. You got to consider, you get so bad at it at the moment, you consider quitting, and then you power through, or you fail, you quit, right? But then you can sign up for it again. And there's triathlons, with open ocean swims with sharks, and you can pay just a little bit of money and go do this stuff. You don't even need to pay money. You could go do it on your own. But I'm just saying, there's all this stuff available, and to like I was saying, I found that through doing this stuff, I can work my job that isn't. It was challenging when I first started off, but I've kind of mastered it, and I don't live in the most interesting place, but it's good. It's in Texas, and all my family lives all around, in Texas. So I'd love to live in Colorado or California again or whatever, but it's not terrible. The cost of living's really, really inexpensive, and we can train and do stuff outside year round, and there's a lot of lakes, and we have an ocean, sorta. We have hills that are almost mountains. It ain't a bad setup. Because the thing about Zen, and the thing about they teach in I've heard Alcoholics Anonymous, is no matter where you go, you're still there. You're still dealing with the same you. You know, you can move across the country and to a different job, a different whatever. And yeah, it's a little bit of a challenge for a few months. And then the next thing you know, because I've done that, I've moved halfway across the country to a new job and then just kind of found myself sitting there going, well, why did I even freaking move? It's the exact same problems I had at the last place, you know, and they're just slightly different. And it's not, I'm not feeling fulfilled at what I'm doing. And then, but through doing, you know, I mean, Ironmans and long distance swimming and stuff that I am not that great at, but that you find challenges you and constantly has a potential for failure. That I sit at my desk job and I walk through life now completely fulfilled and not needing to prove anything to anybody, especially to myself, right? And I just don't need to, because I have the venue to do that anytime that I want with endurance sports. And so I know somebody that's, like I said, that's in the process of, you know, uprooting himself for major life change because he's just not happy here. And I'm like, but he doesn't know where he wants to go somewhere. And I'm just like, man, dude, please just sign up for a trail run, dude. You know, sign up for a trail run. And, you know, he won't, just not into it. Just won't do it. And big thanks to Chris Matus, by the way, for taking me out on my first trail run, pretty much making me. And just to go watch. They didn't even run. It was just to watch. And wait, I need to take a sip of my UCAN before I lose it all. Hold on here. I'm gonna go run here in a minute. I need my UCAN. Delicioso. But like, just, and then the question is, well, what distance should I sign up for? And I would say, if he asked me if I could get him to, I would say, how far do you think you can run okay? And if he said, I don't know, like a 10K, like 6 miles, I'd go, okay, then sign up for the 15K. And he'd be like, what? And I'm like, sign up for something just a little bit harder where you have to stretch yourself. And you will find yourself, you know, through doing this stuff. That was the most amazing thing doing the Ultraman, was I realized as I got closer to it, there's a saying when they say Ironman is like flying a fighter jet, or at least a jetliner, you know, at a constant cruising speed, fast through the atmosphere. Ultraman is like launching you into space and then letting go, and you just float because it's bigger than you can do anything about, and you have to just let go. And so the you know, getting ready to do the Ultraman, Brian, my buddy Brian Triboomer, said, what's your plan? And I said, I got no plan. I've got no plan. I'm going to start and I'm going to swim easier than I think I need, I'm going to swim easier than I want to. And when that's done, I'm going to bike easier than I want to. That's my plan. And then I'm going to run easier than I want to. And because I know that if I try, it's the whole Zen thing. quit trying. Quit trying. Just do. Just be. Right? And you're trying, you're living in the future. Or you're trying to make up for the past. So the strategy is just go a little bit easier. It's a good strategy for Ironman as well. Go a little bit easier than you want to. And just keep doing that. And let go. And when I was done, well, at some point on the bike, on the day 2 bike, I had to completely let go. Like, I was like, this is it. After a couple hours, I think, being on the bike, maybe more, I think it was in the afternoon. It's a 172-mile bike ride. I was like, I guess this is what I'm going to do all day, I guess. I can't control it. All I can do is just pedal. That's all I can do is keep my head down and pedal and relax and eat. And whatever happens now is completely out of my control. And I just had to let go, you know? And whatever happens, happens. And that was a big Zen moment for me, was just boom. Like, there's nothing you can do about this. And man, what great practice for the tougher things, like all the stoicism with Tim Ferriss and all of his hacking. Dude, go out and sign up for a race where it's bigger than you know how to handle, so that you have to give up and just go with it. And it is in control, and you're not. And so stoicism is all about, there's a lot in it about practicing poverty, you know, sleep on the floor one night a month or a week, or I don't know, wear the same clothes for a week, practice poverty, and then poverty's not that, then you realize it's not going to kill you, you'll be fine. So that you quit being afraid of making decisions that could put you out on the street. And riding a bike in the middle of the day, and there's nothing you can freaking do about it but keep going forward, and it hurts. It physically hurts to keep going, but you've committed to it. It's bigger than you. You don't know what's going to happen, so you just keep your head down and keep going. My wife is the beautiful and powerful, amazing ZenTri nurse. She's a cancer clinic nurse. She deals with, and she was a hospice nurse for 10 years or something. So you're dealing with people that hospices, they're dying and they're going to die. They're terminal. That's bigger than you. And it's now in your face. And it hurts. And cancer, chemotherapy, you will die if you don't take care of yourself, and they're hoping that you won't. And it hurts. You're sick. And it's a powerful moment, but it never ends. And doing something that's bigger than you, where it hurts and you put yourself in that situation, is just a microcosm of but it's an experience. It's a small peek into the bigger things in life. So, for example, we might sell our house and move to a different neighborhood, but we got to take a risk. We got to commit to buying another house before we've sold ours. And that could put us out on the street, right? But you just start the process, and just commit and just kind of see what happens. You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. It's like having a kid. You don't know how it's going to end up, man. Kid could be amazing. Kid could be a pain in your butt. Kid could end up in prison. Kid could be amazing. Did I already say that? Of course, you can influence it. Kid could die in a car wreck. When it's a baby, when it's a teenager, when it's 25, when it has its own kids, could have cancer and die. So the challenge is you don't need to willfully turn your life upside down and move away when things are already good where you're at, to scratch that itch. Endurance sports can provide it in doses. I'll be like, man, look at, hey, this 30-year-old guy is now like top 10 in the world, and he didn't even start running until he was 25, and now he's top 10 in the world in ultra running, and he was an accountant before. Gwen Jorgensen was a freaking accountant, and they scoped her out and said, hey, you could be really good at this, and so she started doing triathlons and then ended up in the Olympics winning a gold medal. So you sitting there at your desk as an accountant thinking that life sucks and you need to turn everything upside down. You don't. Go sign up for something that's harder and bigger than you, that's right there in your town. And then you're like, holy crap, this is really difficult. I want to get better at this. And then now you're challenging yourself in a way that's healthy, that's not turning everything upside down, and you're still there with your family, your friends, to help you and support you, and you can get it all right there. Sorry, I just wanted to get that off my chest. That endurance sports are a method to make you happy right where you're at. But I'm preaching to the choir. Most of you already know that. All right. I'm going to get my stuff ready. I'm going to go for a run. Doing a flat run to kind of keep my feet nice and healed up. I got a nice route planned. We're going to see how it goes. Out, bang. All right, I'm back, and I think we're going to be wrapping up this show. Man, we're house hunting, and we're looking for house, and we found one that has a swimming pool in the backyard. I could put an endless pool lane, wave generator, current generator in the backyard, and then I can start coaching people again on swim technique. Just come over to my house, hang out, and I can video you while you're swimming, and we can get your arm entry, get it all figured out, video you, and then do side by side your video with a professional swimmer and look at the differences, and then you can start cleaning yourself up, and then you could keep the video. It'd be pretty cool. Oh man, okay, back to the thing I was just talking about finding yourself. There's this thing where people that are born blind, you can tell somebody that was born blind versus somebody that was not born blind, that went blind later in life. People that are born blind, when you put an object or something in front of them, supposedly, they feel for the edges first. They get the outline of the object, in their mind, and then they have a better idea of what the object is. And people that went blind later in life, or not born blind, they'll grab the object, and start feeling right in the middle of it, feel the middle, but instead of feeling the edges and finding the outline. But anyway, I was just listening to Joan Sotkin, which is, she's this old lady, really old lady that is just awesome. She's real intuitive, and she has a podcast, and I've actually talked to her on the phone one time. She's really cool. And she was mentioning about finding yourself by finding out what you're not. And that goes back to what I was just talking about with you do stuff bigger than you that's harder than what you can do, and you find out what you're not. And then that gives you the outline, like I was saying about a blind person finding what something is by the outline. Then they know what it is. Like if it's a plate, they feel the edges of the plate first and all around the edges, and then they know about how big it is and all that stuff. And you do something that's bigger than you, and you fail. You find your fail points. There's fail point over here, fail point over there. Where do you end? Where can you not exist? And so like one of your edges, you can only run 30 miles, right? Without stopping. And that's your edge over there. You try hot races and you find out how hot is too hot, right? You can go up to this point, right? You try too few calories, too many calories. And it's by the edges that you actually find out who you are. So you kind of have to fail all over the place to find out who you really are and what you're made of. And that's why doing the hard stuff is you're about to find out a whole lot about yourself when you do a 100-mile trail run. Because you're going to find your edges. You're going to find out actually who you are. And because I thought about that a lot, why does doing like an Ironman teach you about yourself? Why does something really difficult teach you about yourself? Teach you more about yourself? And makes you feel good and makes you feel like confidence of knowing, why does it teach you confidence? And it's because you've found your edges. And it's okay to find your edges because now you know who you are, and now you know what you're capable of. And because it's what gives you confidence is now you know what's like you can't do, or what you can do up until a point, and then what you can't do. And then that gives you the confidence to say no to certain things. And no, can't do that. I don't do really well in cold races, for example. I do, but I'm just saying the person talking, say, I just don't do really well in cold races. And you know that because you've done cold races and you found out you don't do well in them. Like say it's a really cold swim or something. And you do better in hot races. And you wouldn't know that unless you did them and you find your fail points. And then your fail points all around you give you your outline, and now you know who you are, like a silhouette. You know your shape. And that gives you confidence, and that's how you can go through life. So I'm going to leave you with that until next episode, all right? Everybody stay safe out there. Work the uphills, cruise the downhills, and keep the rubber side down. Out.